gonna go ahead. Okay, I just want to welcome everyone on. It is the last day here of September. My name is Desiree Mamot, and I live here in Casper, Wyoming. We were just talking about how beautiful this September has been. We've been absolutely spoiled, so I could take about 8 more months of this until next summer. But I hope you all are having a wonderful fall, great start to the school year. And I just wanted to say for any of you that are guests that are hearing this for the first time tonight, definitely reach out to that person who shared this with you or who's asking you to listen in because they genuinely love you and care about you, or they would not have asked you. And I can say for myself, I heard about this beautiful company and LifeVantage from my dear, dear friends, Sean and Michelle Poe, and I'm forever grateful. So thank that person. You may not have want to thank them yet because you might be annoyed at them asking you over and over again to take a look at this information, but truly it is a gift. And so I'm just so excited for you guys to be listening in. I'm going to share here my screen before I forget as well. But for those of you, like I said, who don't know me, my name is Desiree and I do live here in Wyoming. And I was actually introduced to LifeVantage about 13 years ago, actually this month, I believe, because I was actually heading to Paris for my mom's birthday, and Sean and Michelle actually were in town right before I left. And I remember being so excited about the information, but not really knowing what God had in store for me 13 years later. And so I'm going to begin a little bit with my story. This is my family, my husband and my 3 kids, and this is the reason why I share this and why I will continue to share this gift. Not only is it something that I believe everybody in the world should know about, and I tell people, if I care about you, you at least have to listen once. And maybe this information is for you, and maybe it's for somebody else that you love. But I do know that it has absolutely changed my life on a million different levels. And I would say, first off, from a health standpoint, I was born with Lyme disease, and it was 39 years or 38 years, excuse me, before I was diagnosed. My son there in the white t-shirt, he also was born with Lyme from me, a beautiful gift he got from me. My son that has the I Love Jesus shirt had cancer at the age of 7. And my husband on the left also had Lyme disease. And my daughter in the middle, I always say she was probably really lucky that I didn't actually birth her because she didn't have Lyme disease. But she also, with being adopted, came with all kinds of, different health things that come from, the stress of a beautiful mom and having a baby and then having to give her up. Like what I talk about the stress on her mom and then having her passing that down to her. So we've all had health issues in my family. And number one, it has changed my life from a health standpoint. Number two, the people that I've met in this they are my dearest friends. I have learned so much for them. They are like-minded people who just love helping people and have this passion for God, health, and humans. And thirdly, and not least important, is from the finance side. This has absolutely changed my life and given me freedom that I never knew I needed until life really happened when my son got sick with cancer. So I didn't know what I needed. God knew it way before me when he dropped Sean and Michelle back in my life after we were dear, dear friends for years and years in high school and middle school. And then years later, they came to me with this gift. And so I'm forever grateful. So you may not know why you're on this Zoom tonight, but I hope by the end of it that something I say resonates with you and that you can see why we're so passionate about LifeVantage. And I'll share a little more about my story as we go. But I want to give you an introduction of what really is LifeVantage and why are we so unique. So LifeVantage is the activation company. We are the only activation company out there. We are the first to start activating the body. And so what that means is, I think we've all been kind of predisposed to this, I guess this maybe lie that our genes are whatever we're born with is what we're destined with. So for instance, my mom had breast cancer. So then that would be me just assuming I'm going to have breast cancer. Well, that's not really how it is. 97% of your genes are fluid. So they can be changed for the good or for the bad. only 3% are actually locked in and they are not able to be changed. So what we've discovered is that you can turn up, turn down, or balance these genes and processes in your body to create health and to actually anti-age using specific blends of natural ingredients. So we're not talking about supplementation tonight. We're talking about activation. And this slide is really simple, but what I like about it is when you're supplementing something, when you're taking a supplement, you're supplementing a deficiency. And I'm not saying that all supplements are bad. I still take things like vitamin D and magnesium. Those are super important things that you need, but those other type of supplements typically are not addressing the root cause or the root function. And I love this saying where they talk about God didn't make your body to be dependent upon a pharmaceutical drug. Okay. Never has anybody's life said, I need a pill, like a pharmaceutical drug. That's not what we were made to do. We were made to, our bodies were really smart. So if you give them something to activate what God has already put in there and signal these gene pathways, you're actually helping to get to the root cause of all of these issues. So if you support the root cause, you're going to have more energy, less inflammation, anti-aging. And so we like to share, where did our company get started? And why haven't you heard about this? Because I think we all hear this all the time. If it's so great, why am I hearing about it on a Zoom? Why am I hearing about it from a network marketing, multi-level marketing company and from this random girl on a Tuesday night in Wyoming? So back, we have this brilliant scientist, Dr. Joe McCord, and he discovers this molecule in the body. And all he wanted to do was try and make a product that would make, this SOD, which is called superoxide dismutase. You don't need to remember that name. And what he ended up discovering was this product that reduced oxidative stress, and I'll talk about that, by an average of 40% in 30 days. But at this time, back in 2005, no one knew what oxidative stress was. No one knew about this beautiful product that we called Protandim. So they put it on an ABC primetime investigative report. And for those of you like me, I think, well, that's pretty crazy. I don't ever see investigative reports that are being done about natural products. That just doesn't happen. So this aired in 2005. And at the end of this, you can actually watch the ABC report and get back with the person who invited you if you would like to watch that. But in that, John Quinones, who is this very well-known ABC reporter who you still see on TV today, and to our knowledge is still taking Protandim as far as we know, his oxidative stress, and I'll talk about why this is so important, reduced by over 40% or by over 40% in 2 weeks. And all we claim is that we can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So as you can imagine, when this aired on ABC, millions of people are ordering. They're going online. They're like, oh my gosh, I've got to buy this one product called Protandim. And at the time it was $50. The problem is that there was millions of dollars of orders that came in a very short time. He did not have this business set up. We didn't have the infrastructure. It was just a product. And so it kind of just went away. So people didn't get their order. And if you didn't see that report, I've found one person in 13 years that actually saw that, then you never would know about it unless someone who loved you invited you to listen into this. So for a few years, they tried in retail market. It did not do well there because if you look at any natural, like if you go to natural grocers here in town, which I love, or you go to a GNC, there are so many different products. And frankly, there's a lot of junk out there. And there's a lot of supplements that are just supplementing a deficiency and claiming to do things, but they're not actually what your body needs. Your body needs to activate, not supplement. And so in 2009, since it did not do well in the retail market, they went into direct sales. And that wasn't what they intended. Most doctors probably aren't looking for their product to be in direct sales. But as you can see, this is a product that needs a voice. It needs someone sharing with you and saying, you've got to take a listen to this, because this might be an answer to your prayer, like it was to my prayer. And now, since then, we are just in direct sales. You can only get it from someone who shares it with you. We are publicly traded. We are a debt-free company. Those are huge things. So everything I say is we're very transparent. So you can take a look at everything I'm saying tonight. So that's a big, big deal from even a business standpoint, and also from being able to, like, okay, so what I'm saying is actually validated tonight. So what is oxidative stress? Why did this product become such a big thing overnight after that ABC report? So oxidative stress essentially is when your body has too many free radicals, too many reactive oxygen species, and your body can't handle it. Essentially, it's an inflammatory response. And so if you think of inflammation, let's say, inflammation, oxidative stress, they're the root cause of over 200 diseases. The thing is, and I thought this a little bit, even though I was sick and I didn't know that I had Lyme disease, I was trying to do all the right things. I was eating right. I was doing detoxification things. I was working out. But the problem is, if you look at that left side, over 80,000 new chemicals since the industrial revolution. If you think about babies being born these days, they have more chemicals in their bodies today than they ever had. You look at herbicides, pesticides, the GMOs, all the junk that's in our food, especially here in the United States. I mean, our food is toxic. Smoking, too much exercise, even your elite athletes, they have high levels of inflammation or oxidative stress. Not enough exercise, high stress level. I mean, our world is a high stress world. Pollution, poor sleep, you name it, it can cause oxidative stress. So there's no way of avoiding it. First off, you can just have a tool like this to help your body and activate your body to help it combat oxidative stress. So we do get this a lot. Would this product help with XYZ? Would it help with, for instance, me, Lyme disease? Would it help with my son who had cancer? Would it help with diabetes? Would it help with depression? Could this help with autism? Could this help with ADD? My daughter who kind of struggles with learning, could it help her? Could it help your eyes? Well, the great thing is you can go to a site called pubmed.gov, and it's a Library Institute of Health. It's where all peer-reviewed public research is posted. You can look up oxidative stress and anything you want. So oxidative stress and kidneys, oxidative stress and COPD. I have whatever you want, look it up. And it's amazing. And you look here on the screen, it says 318,000 studies, but I'm sure that's actually probably more now. And I'll have to look at it and see how many. Someone can even look it up and put it in the chat there. But year after year after year, there are thousands and thousands of studies. I think when I first heard about this, and I could be wrong on this, I believe there was around maybe 30,000 studies 13 years ago, and we're looking at over 300,000 studies. So it's a pretty big deal, oxidative stress. The other thing I love about this is not just us saying this. You're looking at that we have 30 peer-reviewed published studies. I need to change that on there that are on PubMed. You can look up Protandim. This is not on the individual ingredients. This is actually on our product as a whole. This is a big deal. This is actually why my husband, who does work in the cardiology field, this is the only reason I think he looked at this. And he does love Sean Poe. So he's like, I'll trust him. But the fact that there were studies done by the American Heart Association on Protandim, that there were studies done by Harvard, Colorado State, Washington State University, Circulation by the American Heart Association. That's a premier journal of the Heart Institute. And so my husband knew that. So if you look at these, this is not just your small universities and hospitals. This is other companies or other people doing studies on our product. Okay. We do not fund these studies. We wouldn't have the money to even probably fund these studies back, 15 years ago. Maybe we do now, but these studies take a ton of time, money, and research. We are a natural product. We are not a pharmaceutical drug, so we are not doing studies and claiming disease states, okay? Here's the cool thing also about this product. It's 5 natural ingredients, okay? 5 ingredients. You can see them at the bottom there. You cannot take them separately and get the same thing, okay? It's a proprietary blend, just like in baking, you have to have this perfect blend recipe. That's why we have international and United States patents. You cannot go to the store, buy these 5 ingredients and get Protandim. It lowers oxidative stress. So that root cause of over 200 diseases by 40% in 30 days. That's the only product that we know of in the world that can claim that. Increase this SOD by 30%, which is an antioxidant. Catalase by 54%. Glutathione, this is a big one. This is your master detoxifier. This is something that I would take this product, I say, every day for the rest of my life, knowing that it's increasing my master detoxifier by 300% after 120 days usage. This is also the only dietary supplement. I hate that word. Actually, I need to take that out. It's the only, that's what they said, not us, okay? The National Institute on Aging. It's the only activator or product proven to extend life in male mice, okay? We're not talking who wants to live longer if you don't feel good, okay? I don't want to be laying there in my bed not feeling good for years. I'd rather be up in heaven with Jesus. But what if you had quality of life? Okay, quality, not just quantity. So that's a huge deal that we can make that claim that it increases lifespan. That's big. So why wouldn't you take it? I'm not sure. Okay, here's kind of a picture of also supplements versus activation. On the left side, you see a direct antioxidant, more of a supplement. Eating fruits, vegetables, those are awesome, but they're only capable of killing one free radical for one antioxidant molecule. We say that's like throwing a Dixie cup on a house fire. On the right side, you have our product Protandem. It is what we call an NRF2 activator, and it's flipping on switches in your body and activating your body's genes. This is 1,000,000 times more powerful than a supplement, okay? 1,000,000. That's big, big number, 1,000,000. So this is like a fire hose, like we say, putting a fire hose. If your body was on fire, do you want a Dixie cup or a fire hose to help put out the fire? This is my favorite thing, okay? So this pathway, this Protandem, it activates this pathway in the body called the NRF2, like I said. This is not us saying this. This is in February 25th, excuse me, of 2015. This was published 5 days after my son was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 7. And I say that every time because this is one of the things that I took to his oncologist, okay? I'm not claiming that this cures cancer. I'm not claiming that we treat, cure, mitigate diseases. But if you're getting to the root cause of oxidative stress or the root cause of disease, lowering oxidative stress, activating these detoxification pathways, all of these things in the body, it's a huge deal. And I knew that I needed to get him on this product. Like it was important for me, but I knew he was going to be living there for 6 to 7 months. We weren't going to leave that hospital to come home from Denver, and that I couldn't lie about it. And he was 7. And so I knew I had to take them real information, that it wasn't just going to be, I'm a desperate mom trying to save my son. So this is one of the things that I took to them, along with other published studies that talk about why we don't have drug interactions because of the small ingredients in our product, that it wasn't going to interact with the chemo and the different things that they were going to put into his system. But I knew what Protandem did. And I think I know God placed it in my hands 2.5 years prior for that moment. And I love this statement where it says this pathway that Protandem activates may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's a really powerful statement. So if I didn't say any more tonight, I think just you guys would get that this is a giant product, okay? Everyone in the world should be taking Protandem NRF2. My kids, your pets, everybody should be taking this. But LifeVantage didn't stop there. And I'm going to go quickly kind of through these. So at the end of this, feel free to ask questions or ask the person who invited you, and they can give you a lot more information. I just want to give you more of that background of why these products are so life altering. So from there, they made 2 other Protandem activators. They're also called Protandem. This one's the NRF1. This is for your mitochondrial health. This is activating, that cellular energy, ATP, that we all learned about back in high school science class. This is boosting mitochondria, slow cellular aging. And if you think about diseases and things where the mitochondria are not healthy or not working well, I know I want my mitochondria working. Cancer is a big mitochondrial dysfunction. Neurodegenerative diseases are a big. You even looked at spectrum disorders, on and on and on. And as we age, when a lot of times you're just told, well, you're getting older, you should be tired. Well, that's also the slowing down of your mitochondria. So what if you could activate that? Natural ingredients as well. The third Protandem activator is called NAD. This is activating your sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. And that is the same proteins you're activating when you intermittent fast. But you're not intermittent fasting, it's just activating this by 100%. It improves mental focus and concentration, mental and physical energy, supports body healthy inflammatory response, maintains cholesterol levels already in healthy range. I mean, on and on and on. Look up NAD. If you haven't heard about NAD in a while, you should, because it's kind of out there everywhere, but they're talking about infusions of it. But if you're infusing something, your body's not making it. So we want our bodies to make it. So those three together, those three Protandim activators are incredible separately. However, our company saw that they needed to study them together because they are bigger together than even separate. So they're called our tri-synergizer. And I love that. The company discounts them together because they know this is super important to take. If you look on this graph, you don't need to understand it. The genes, it's just showing on the left, just Protandim NRF2, our beautiful flagship product, what it does. And then when you add in these other two activators, the three together, what they do. So this is also patented. Next, our activated collagen. And I'm kind of highlighting some big products here tonight. But our activated collagen, honestly, is one of my favorite products. I was a naysayer, like a lot of us, when this came out, because I thought, why are we jumping on the collagen bandwagon? There's a million collagens out there. You can go to Sam's Club and get it in a powder. You can go to Target. Everybody's selling a collagen. We're not a beauty company, although when you heal the inside and you become healthier, the outside becomes brighter. It changes. It becomes more youthful and beautiful. So I was not quite sure why we did this one. However, I was totally wrong. So what makes ours superior and unique? Most collagens are just replenishing. They're just replenishing collagen peptides, 1 or 2. Ours is 10 marine collagen peptides. But the biggest kicker is beyond the 10 versus 1 or 2 is that you activate the production of collagen and you maintain what you already have. So you're not losing it as quickly. That's a big deal because as we age, we lose collagen very quickly. After about our late 20s, it starts to go down. And it has to be liquid. That's a big deal. I tell people, stop wasting your money on powder collagen. Your body has a really hard time absorbing that. So ours might be a little more expensive than that. But I love, one of the doctors we work with says the most expensive supplement or product is the one that isn't doing anything, no matter if it's $10 or $100. So liquid. Large collagen protein pieces are hard to digest, so they have to be broken down. So we use hydrolyzed collagen cut into smaller pieces so your body doesn't have to break it down. So it's very easy to absorb and utilize. And it's highly water soluble, so it also makes it more bioavailable for the body to use. So people who have been using collagens for years get on our product and they're like, this is so different. And that's why. But it's beyond skin deep. It's not just hair, skin, and nails. And yes, does it do those things? You should see the before and after. Well, I'm going to show you a few here in a minute. But we're talking gut health, joint health, bone health, tissue repair, eye health, heart health, liver function, sleep quality, on and on. And I love this picture because this iceberg, which we were in Alaska last month, and it was so beautiful to actually see a real iceberg. Our company took us there. It was amazing. But now this picture even means more to me. Seeing an actual one, like the top of the iceberg is so beautiful, but what's below it, kind of supporting it there. And so you look at this, hair, skin, and nails are on the top of this, but in the surface, inside of our bodies, you're looking at tissue regeneration, gut health, wound healing, immune response, insulin sensitivity, healthy blood pressure, weight management, on and on and on. So once again, there's 10 types of collagen, not just 1 or 2. It's marine peptides, responsibly caught fish. That's another big thing. What's in that fish? That's important. What's not in that fish? Also, we have this ruby red quinoa extract that is helping activate or boost your collagen production by 5 times. And you can read the other SOD and catalase there increased. Type 1 collagen increased by up to 42%. And also, it helps decrease this gene that you can see there by up to 33% that is responsible for collagen loss. There is no other collagen out there that can claim to do this. Okay, Don't just take collagen, make it. So I'm going to show you, this is just I'm going to kind of cruise through. This is just some of the other ingredients that are helping make it activate your body as well. But what's not in it is just as important that you can read there. I'm a big stickler on ingredients. My kids, it drives them nuts, but I wouldn't give them something if it had GMOs and added sugars and artificial sweeteners, gluten, soy. And here is, after 8-week clinical trial, what it's doing more as you're looking at on the skin itself. But what I love is that it's bigger than just that. Our company was seeing a lot of neat results when people were saying, I'm having some crazy testimonies happen with Protandim and collagen together, because we had been on Protandim, a lot of us, thousands of us. And then we added in the collagen. And so they did a study, and I'm going to show you that study result in a minute here, but I'm going to show you some pictures, okay? As you can see, this is changing. This is like a natural looking Botox or filler. And for those of you who know me, I'm not a fan of those. So I'm welcoming anything that's going to make me age gracefully, naturally, okay? I mean, these are life-changing results. This gal, she was on Protandim previously and then added in collagen. This is about 11 months apart. She doesn't even look like the same person. I mean, she looks so healthy and full, like her face, and beautiful. And then you look at these, I mean, just even the necklines. I always joke, we got my beautiful friend Sean Poe here. If you're looking at the lines like of the mouth, that's a huge deal to have those fill in without a filler. That I'd never have heard anything doing that. Legs, arms. My mom gets really mad at me because I took her before and after pictures. I do not post them here, but I do use them. I have pictures at my house and she hates when I show it, but it's crazy to see before and after of the skin on legs. And I'm going to show one next here. Crazy when you build your own collagen, eyes getting brighter, eye lifting, just some really, really incredible hair, skin, nails, eyelashes, as you can see. But on the inside, like I said, when people started taking the two together, you have this all happening like I showed you before. But one of the coolest things is that our company, all of our products, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. It's like 1 + 1 equals a million. Okay, maybe not quite that, but you know what I mean. So when they put these two products together, they found that they were activating thousands of genes, not just hundreds individually. 10 of those are actually stress response genes. So for me, who had Lyme for 30 some years before I fully was cleared of Lyme, there, you believe it or not, there's a lot of stress going on in autoimmune. If someone suffers from an autoimmune disease, their body is constantly bombarding them and it's sending that stress signal, and your body's like, calm down, stop freaking out. It's kind of what these two are doing. I think of my son having had cancer. Like, not only am I working on his gut lining with this, but also that stress response. So this is massive. So that's why we had such cool results. And lastly, a couple things. Our brain drink, Axio. I don't go a day without it. I love it. It is a brain drink, not an energy. It helps improve mental focus, clarity. The ingredients are so beautiful. They're studied more in when you're looking at things like dementia and Alzheimer's and ADD and focus and maybe even depression or anxiety, like all of these beautiful ingredients that do cross the blood-brain barrier and act, and they enhance your neurotransmitters. I use this, my entire family. My kids use it for sports. My daughter uses it for school. It helps in concentration. It's just a silent energy that you can't describe unless you've used it. I love this because it's showing what it does for a kiddo, their brain, before and after Protandim and Axio, just in their handwriting. You can just see that it's more like, it just helps your brain kind of take away the clutter and the fog and just make things more, I guess, organized even in the brain. So I think you can see that just with this kiddo's handwriting. Axio is a no-brainer always. And this is a really cool, and if you want to actually see the video of what it's doing to the brain with these products, this is a super cool to look at from Dr. Phantom, this doctor in our company. Dr. Phantom did this, and you can see how the brain looks different before and after, and how much more inflammation it is on the left side compared to the right side. So it's so cool that you can actually see what our products are doing in lab work. Lastly, it was about a year ago, Our company launched the first ever, and I hate the word GLP-1 to be honest, because I think everybody goes to GLP-1 injections. That's where their mind goes. This is nothing like that. This is making your body make the GLP-1 hormone by an average of 140%. This is not necessarily about weight loss. This is about health, increasing that GLP-1 hormone, balancing hunger hormones, strengthening your gut-brain axis, maintaining balanced blood sugars, which is so important in disease, and on and on and on. And so this is what it's showing. The average weight loss was 9 pounds in 8 weeks. But the bigger thing about this, I tell people, throw out the scale. You're looking at your body. How do your clothes fit? How do you feel? You're looking at muscle mass. 100% of people who took this maintain their muscle. That does not happen with the injections. I'm not claiming things on that, but up to 50% of the weight loss on an injectable is muscle. So you can do your own thought on how healthy that is. That is not a good thing. So these are some before and afters of people who had been activated with our other products in our company for many, many years, but then just added in this product. And you can see it's helping them take back, their life and their control over food. So this is big deals. Inches, we're not just looking at the scale, before and afters, and you can see just, visually what it's done for people. Huge deal. The GLP-1 hormone is a very, very important thing. Lastly, we have hair care and skincare that also activates. All of our products activate some part of your body. Our skincare is clean. I love that it's just like Protandim, activating our skin. We can activate our hair. The best thing is all of our products on this Think Dirty app. You can look this up. Our products are on the cleanest part that you can possibly get. And I used to work in the beauty industry, and you don't find clean products that actually work. I had looked for years to find clean products that actually did something. Use our hair care, try our skincare. It's incredible. And you can see all of these products. We have a handful of other products, but they all activate. So lastly, I want to talk a little bit, just a couple minutes here. I never ever got into this for the business. Like I said, I would never have dreamt 13 years ago I would be presenting to you. I hated talking in front of people. You can see I'm red already. I'm not even nervous, but I still get red. I would have been mortified if you would have told me that this is what I would be doing. But I remember when Sean and Michelle brought this to me, and Sean said, dig that well before you need it. You have no idea what's going to happen in your life. And I didn't know what was going to happen in my life. 2.5 years later, I still get emotional every time I talk about it. I left my family, left for 7, 8 months, moved to Colorado, lived in the children's hospital with my son there. My life completely flipped upside down. It was the worst moment of my life. But God had this beautiful gift. I had already dug the well. I had quit my job. I was doing this full time because I wanted to go all in on this. I had 3 little kids. I didn't have time. I wasn't wanting to add more into my life when Sean and Michelle, but I saw these products and I thought, what if it could help my mom or my dad or myself or my mother-in-law who had had multiple back surgeries and a brain injury? What if? Bad on me if I don't even look at it or actually share it with them. But what I found is that not only are we this beautiful debt-free company on the NASDAQ, I could work from anywhere, and I did. But I actually had built a team, so I didn't really do anything for a year. I just sat at his bedside for a year and took care of him and just learned so much along that journey about why this company is so powerful. You have no assets, no overhead, no employees, work from anywhere. I mean, tax benefits. I tell people, just if you did an at-home business for the tax purposes, huge deal. Okay, huge deal. To me, taking the products is a no-brainer. Everybody should be taking this. The majority of our business are customers who just want the products and want it shipped to them because they know the benefit of this, and they're like, your health is something you have to invest in. I tell people, if you don't invest now, you'll invest later on medical bills. So for me personally, I would rather be healthy and have my body, ready if whenever something hits it. We're all going to have things that are going to hit it, whether it's a stress or a disease or something. But what if you could give your body what it needs to be armed? Put the seatbelt on before the accident happens. I say that all the time. But maybe you're like me and thought, what if? Maybe I'll share this. And like I said, this gift of this company. And if you look at the monthly average income paid as rank, since we are publicly traded, we're very transparent. You can see that third column. We're talking, some people want to, I just want my product for free. I want to make enough for that. For me, it was, I had a vision of $500 a month I wanted to make, but I didn't know that I needed bigger than that because my son, a big life was going to happen. And I needed finances that I could go do any integrative things I wanted with him. And that's been one of the biggest blessings, not only for my Lyme disease journey, that takes a lot of money. And the Western world can't cure you of Lyme. Okay. And I don't even believe it can cure you of cancer. I think you have to get to the root cause of everything else and get rid of it. And so the money that I've needed for that has been extraordinary. I said people wouldn't want to know what I've spent on my health. But if you don't spend it on your health, what do you have? And so I'm forever grateful for that. There is life-changing money in this as well. And lastly, I do want to say, we actually just within the last few weeks ago, we learned that we acquired another company. So this is kind of a crazy deal when you say we're debt free and we acquired a new company that has a gut product that we believe is going to fit beautifully into our product lineup. It is a gut activator, and we know the gut is 70 to 80% of the immune system. This is a massive deal. So I tell people, like, now is the time. If you even think for a second, what if I would want to share this? I know of a lot of people who need to know about this. Tell that person who invited you. If you're someone you're like, I just want the products, or maybe you need more information, just get back with that person because I promise we have so much information out there to share. And we're just grateful that you guys were willing to listen in for the last 37 minutes. I tried to be at 30, but I get rambling. But I just appreciate your guys' time and thank you guys so much for listening in. So with that, I am going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then afterwards, if there's questions, comments in the chat, I will, like I said, stop the recording now. So thanks for listening in to those of you listening to the recording. So I'm going to